My name is Javier. I'm 14 years old, and I live with my parents in rural New Mexico, just outside a tiny town called Red Rock. Last summer, my parents sent me and my younger sister, Sofia, to stay with our Uncle Carlos. He owns a small ranch about 5 miles down a dirt road. The place sits at the foot of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, with a little creek running nearby. There is even an old guest house behind the main house. That's where Sofia and I stayed. The first few days were amazing. Mornings brushing horses, afternoons fishing in the creek, and evenings roasting marshmallows by the fire pit. Uncle Carlos and Aunt Marta lived just a short walk away. They checked on us often, so we never felt completely alone. On our 5th night, I was lying in bed, when I heard a soft rustling outside our window, like someone moving through the brush. I ignored it at first, thinking it was probably a rabbit or a raccoon. But then, at exactly 1:47 a.m., our door creaked. The old wood shifted like someone was trying to push it open. I bolted upright and nudged Sofia. She just mumbled and rolled over. I crept to the back door with my flashlight. The porch light was off. No one was in sight, but I saw them. Footprints, dusty, human-sized prints, leading off into the darkness. "In the morning," I told Uncle Carlos. He called it strange, but just blamed it on kids from town playing pranks. He asked if I wanted to call the sheriff, but I said no. I didn't want to worry anyone. For the next 2 nights, nothing happened. I started to think maybe I had just overreacted. Then came the 8th night, around to 10 a.m. Sofia whispered, "Javi, did you hear that?" I did. A low moaning sound was coming from the creek. I grabbed the flashlight and turned it on. That's when I saw it. A pale face staring through our window, just 5 feet away. I screamed, "Get back!" But the figure vanished into the night. We ran to Aunt Marta's house and pounded on the door. She answered with a rifle in her hand, ushered us inside, and locked the doors. She told us it was probably just someone drunk stumbling through, but I knew better. In the morning, Uncle Carlos found more footprints, this time leading from the guest house to a dried-up cistern by the creek. On a nearby thorn bush, he found a tattered jacket. It was small, like it belonged to a teenager. That night, I couldn't sleep. At 1:53 a.m., we heard heavy thumps on the roof, like someone stomping on metal shingles. I pointed my flashlight at the ceiling. The noise stopped. We hid under the blankets, frozen. Then, around 2:05, the door rattled. Hard, like a giant fist was pounding on it. We screamed, and Aunt Marta burst in again with her rifle. She fired a warning shot through the small window. The banging stopped, but then we heard it. A deep, animal-like growl, right outside the door. The next morning, Uncle Carlos was furious. He told us to pack our things. We were leaving 2 weeks early. He said whatever was out there didn't deserve attention, but he was worried for our safety. As we drove away before dawn, I looked back toward the guest house. I saw a lone figure standing in the doorway. He wore the same tattered jacket. His face was pale and gaunt, glowing like a corpse in the mist. Weeks later, I found out something chilling. A local boy had gone missing that summer. He was 16 and last seen near the creek by my uncle's ranch. People said he wandered off, got lost, and was never found. But some swore they still heard him whistling at night, the same mournful tune I heard at 1:47 a.m. I can't forget his face, standing in that doorway, watching us leave. Since then, I can't stand being near forests at night. My parents say I'm overreacting, but every time I close my eyes, I hear them. The footsteps on the roof, the low moaning by the creek. Sometimes I wonder who else might be out there, along Route 100, listening to the wind, waiting for someone foolish enough to spend the night alone.